Harold with you now. Kings Club Casino, Kings Club Baccarat, for the professional player and the side hustler, but not for entertainment. We're not in the business of entertainment here. We're in the business of making money here. And you're staring at a roulette table, obviously different. I see some silly baccarat shows on YouTube where they'll show people making bets on a roulette table as they're talking about baccarat. You immediately know then that you can disqualify that as a baccarat channel. Um, this is a baccarat channel, but by special request, a member of our kingdom has said that he's going on a cruise next week, and he wants me to give him a good, solid roulette strategy that he can use. And so I have chosen two from my bag of tools as to say, I think this is the way you should play it. Hey, Guaping, welcome. Kingdom coming in now. Uh, so I'm going to show a couple of roulette ideas for him as a change of pace tonight, and we'll get back to Baccarat tomorrow night. But tonight I'm going to talk about, I got three other subjects I'm going to talk about with you, and then we're going to cover a little bit of roulette ideas. And I did bring up the double zero wheel because I'm not going to play the single zero wheel because he's probably not going to have a single zero. Hey, Chuck Vetter. So we're going to do a little bit of roulette tonight because, pardon me, King Michael Steinfeld is about to go on a cruise, and he emailed me today and asked me to give him a look at how he might play roulette on the ship. And so I'm going to show the two ways that I would play it on the ship. Whether it's successful or not tonight will yet to be seen, but nevertheless, I'm going to show it for Mike and for anybody else that wants to try roulette. Hey, Trish, uh, and um, and I hope it works out for him and for anyone else that gets it. But anyway, you got King Harold here, King's Club Casino, professional baccarat, professional side hustle baccarat, not for entertainment. We don't do entertainment here. We do hard work trying to make money. And I am parked out here, as I said, because I've lost the Wi-Fi in my house. I've lost just about everything in my house. Nothing's there hardly, except a place for me to reside until the next step in my life comes in. But I am in one of my favorite places right now that I visited earlier this year when I was doing the show. And I am on the west side of Memorial Stadium, Indiana Hoosiers football stadium, that will be sold out every Saturday this year because it looks like we have returned with a little bit of a football team, and last year making it to the college football playoffs. Although we weren't really prepared to play those top teams, we still went in there and played hard and had a great year. We have a tougher schedule this year, but we also have a better team. And so I'm going to give you a look. Here's where I am on the west side of Memorial Stadium, Indiana University. There it is. This is about 3 miles from the palace. Okay, so you know that everything that I do in baccarat or in any kind of gaming is an actuarial science. Well, hey, HR Green Shark. Yep, Breaking Away filmed right here. It was one of the breakout beginning movies for Dennis Quaid, and a lot of the friends, because it comes from the era when I was younger, and a lot of the guys from IU that I know now were extras in that movie, and they get a big kick out of their 2 seconds of fame when they see themselves cross the screen. But anyway, everything I do is an actuarial science. I mean, even in life, everything I do is a calculation based on what ought to be the outcome of what I'm about to do. And believe it or not, tomorrow an actuarial science is being played on me because my life insurance policy that I have covering uh, my loved ones as beneficiaries, the insurance company, given my advanced age, they want to come meet with me and talk to me and give me some stress tests and some height and some weight and some blood pressure and blood sugar and yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, what they're doing is an actuarial science where they're going to decide how much longer they'll let me pay them to cover me. And they are going to bet that the amount of years they choose will be the amount of years I will not die within, but I will die shortly after the sum total of the years they decide. So they're making an actuarial bet tomorrow with me that I will definitely live longer than the amount of years they insure me. And ironically, I'm making a bet that I won't. because I only win if I die before the end of the policy. So, funny thing about life insurance, you're actually betting that you're going to die before full term, and they're betting that you won't. And that's the simple thing of actuarial science of life insurance. So that's happening to me tomorrow. Now I want to go to another thing. Um, you guys know that I'm 6'3", 200 pounds, so I'm a fairly good sized guy, even at 73 years old. But long ago and far away, in a small town in South Carolina near a thoroughbred racing stable with a training track, I grew up around horses and farms and cotton fields, tobacco fields, soybean fields, and horses. And at an early age, I learned to ride horses well enough to where I began to ride a little bit for free, by the way, never got paid. But I rode some thoroughbreds for the trainer, Cot Campbell. But for the trainer, he's deceased now, but he was a famous trainer. But at his farm, and as I grew older, I think the first time I got up on a horse was I was one of those horses was I was 8 years old. And at 9, 10, 11, and at 12 years old, I was still a real little guy. And my mom was 4'11", my dad was 6'3". But nobody could tell for sure if I was going to be a real little guy or not. But I was still a real little guy even at 12 years old. And there were some jockeys around that were looking to break into the professional circuit of racing. And sure enough, they did end up doing so. Most notably, one of the riders from my area was Chris Antley, but this was before his time. But he did come in after me and ended up winning Triple Crown races. But at 12 years old, I was still a little guy. I was about 4'10", 95 pounds, and I could play basketball, and I loved playing basketball, but I certainly had no future in it, or at least didn't seem. And I was riding thoroughbreds. And during those eras, as winter would approach, the New York stables would ship to Florida, and they oftentimes would stay in South Carolina for a month, 6 weeks, sometimes 2 months, before going to Florida for the spring racing. And they would also do the same thing coming back toward New York later on. And so a lot of times there were some really big horses there, like there were some Triple Crown horses that were there for a while. And I had myself pegged that I was going to figure out a way to be a jockey. Hey, Corey Jensen, welcome. Kevin Sprouse, good evening. Telling the story of my childhood when I thought I was going to be a jockey. But strange things happened as a young man's growing up. And as I got to the 9th grade, I was suddenly 5'4". And then by the 10th grade, I was 5'11", and by senior year, I was 6'3", and certainly horse racing was gone, and I was very saddened by that, and I picked up basketball and played basketball for a little while. But I always had wanted to be a jockey. And so I've had an attraction to horses ever since because I know some things about the racing business. And a friend of mine in Florida and we've been watching a horse he goes by the name of Bourbon Serengeti. And Bourbon Serengeti is not a champion horse by any means, but has some capabilities. But he's also got, she's a filly. She's a 4-year-old filly, Bourbon Serengeti. She's got an issue that plagues some horses, and the trainers have to figure out a way to get it fixed. And I'm betting that before this next race that Bourbon Serengeti runs in, I'm betting that the trainer is going to have it fixed. The trainer is Richard Dutrow. He's a national trainer, and the horse is going to be ridden this coming time by one of the top jockeys in the nation, Jose Ortiz. So Jose Ortiz is going to have to figure out a way to get this horse to do one particular thing during the race, and it's what's called switching leads. A horse must switch leads to give their very best race. And what I mean by that is, as horses are approaching the far turn, they switch from their right lead to their left lead. And they run the turn with the left front leg leading the way, with the right front leg trailing. And then as they turn into stretch, somewhere in the first 16th of a mile, if you're watching closely, you can see it, they will switch over back to the right lead, and suddenly the right front leg will be leading the way. Now, the reason for that is, and I'll give you a good metaphor or a good example. If you have a heavy suitcase that you've got to carry at quite a distance, and you pick up the suitcase in your right hand, and you're walking across the parking lot toward whatever destination you're going to. And as your right arm gets tired, you move the suitcase to your left hand, and you're refreshened as your right arm now rests and your left arm is now carrying the suitcase. Okay, that's switching arms, that's switching leads. And for a horse, when he's going into the stretch to run home, as he switches from the left lead to the right lead, it will freshen him and he will have more speed going down the stretch. Bourbon Serengeti has a problem of hanging on the left lead. And in the last couple of races, she has been in position to win, only to be hanging on that left lead all the way to the wire. And so we're hoping that this upcoming race, they will have solved this issue. And if they do, we're going to cash the bets. Because on Friday, July 11th, at Saratoga Racetrack, in the second race, Bourbon Serengeti is running. Going for you in this idea of betting this horse on Friday, should you choose to do so, Bourbon Serengeti is running in a class of a race that is perfectly suited for her. She's not a big-time stakes horse. She's not a cheap horse. She's running for a $60,000 purse, which is kind of middle of the road for Saratoga. It's decent quality, not top, not bottom. She's running for $60,000, which suits her perfectly. She has had 11 races so far. She's won 2, and she's in the money about half of her races. I'm feeling like she'd be in the money all of them if she had figured out the way to get off that left lead. But she's still stuck with it. They're still trying to figure it out. But she still is, even on the left lead, she still is third or better half of her races. And a lot of those races were over her head. This race is right in her wheelhouse. And if it were to rain and get muddy, she's okay with that. She's sired by Distorted Humor, who was a horse that liked the off track. So I don't have anything going against Bourbon Serengeti on Friday, except hoping to God she doesn't hang on the left lead. So I am, because there's only 6 horses in the race, I don't get to play the show. So I'm going to bet her to place, actuarially thinking she's got to beat 4 horses to be in second place. She can lose to 1, but she's got to beat the other 4 to be in second place. So I'm going to bet her to place Bourbon Serengeti Friday, July 11th in the second race at Saratoga. Now, the next thing I'm going to tell you about is, I think you guys know that I've spoken to you before about betting on baseball games. Yes, Saratoga does have quality races. She actually she's what we call a prompter. She's either second or third, and then begins to make her run. So she's not a deep closer. She's a steady horse and kind of a grinder, and she'll wear down some horses and then try to hold off the rest. But she's got to get off that left lead, Green Shark. So there's a baseball series, 3-game series coming up starting Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this week. The same starting on July 11th. That I'm interested in as a 3-game bet individual games to win $100. And this particular series is the Miami Marlins at the Baltimore Orioles. Now, the bet is on the Baltimore Orioles. You bet on the home team on Friday night, and if you win the bet, you bet enough to where you're going to win $100. So if it's 100, if the odds say plus 140, if that's the edge 140, you got to bet $140. If they win, you get back 240, which is your $100. Now, if they lose, you're going to repeat the bet in martingale style on Saturday night. So you got to look at it if you've lost 140. And if the Orioles are 140 on Saturday night, well, now you've got to bet 280. Because you bet 280 and now you clear your 100 again. If they lose on Saturday night, you got to do it again on Sunday. If you have a hard time figuring out what to bet based on how it goes, you can email me and I'll tell you. But I think this is a sure thing, $100 win in baseball if somebody's interested in playing baseball. The Baltimore Orioles at home against the Miami Marlins, 3-game series beginning July 11th, Friday. They're going to play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. A lot of people don't know the difference in the professions of how baseball is done compared to the other sports, but in lots of ways, baseball is harder than any sport. In lots of ways it is, and I'll explain why. Um, it's because, first off, the season is 162 games. It's a long season. Secondly, each day they're at the ballpark for 8 hours. They've got to get to the game long before the game starts, and they're at the game longer after the game is over. And so you work a legitimate 8 hours a day, half of those games on the road, half at home. It's a tough season, it's a tough grind. And so, in that respect, you have to understand what they're dealing with. And that leads me back to why I'm predicting the Orioles will win at least one of these games. They very well may win all three, but all you want is one win. If they win Friday night, you're done. You've got your money. Don't bet anymore because you need all three games to guarantee your win. Generally speaking, the home team will win at least one game of the 3-game series on the weekend, 94% of the time. And so the Orioles are a 6% chance of losing your three bets. There is a 6% chance of losing your three bets. But I think you're bolstered by the fact that the Orioles are already at home this week. They are not on the road. They're relaxing at home and playing this week. Full days of work, of course, nonetheless. But Miami, their 11, 12, and 13th game season sequence is they will now have been 11, 12, and 13 days away from home in hotels and working that same amount of time. So this is the 5th, 6th, and 7th road game of this trip for the Marlins. So the Marlins are even in a deeper condition trying to beat the Orioles at home this weekend. So there's many reasons that the Orioles are an overwhelming favorite to win at least one. They're probably a favorite to win all three. So that'll give me the kiss of death of this bet. But if you want to bet the baseball games this weekend, the game to bet is to bet on the Orioles. If you need help doing it, you can email me on it. So King Michael Steinfeld is going on a cruise, and he wants some roulette ideas. And the roulette ideas I have, one revolves around the tower, and the other revolves around the chop, and a follow the winner bet. The follow the winner bet works differently with roulette than it does with baccarat. It actually doesn't work that great with baccarat, as you saw last night, and that's because there's only one side against the other. And when roulette is 18 against 18, not 1 against 1. But I want to get these double zeros off the wheel so I can tell you about the tower right now, because that's one of the conditions you have to be aware of with roulette is what goes on with those zeros. Hey, Richard. So let's get those off here. We're going to do this. This is a strategy for Mike Steinfeld for his cruise, should he choose to use it. It's up to him. It's up to you guys, should you guys choose to use it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to bet red and black. That's the only thing to bet in roulette. But we're going to bet it a little bit different because I got those zeros up there. You can see here we're at zero. There's no money here. So let's see how much money we can lose here from Michael Steinfeld. And, oh, I got to get those zeros off the bottom. I didn't get them off yet. Sorry about that. So if I get a chance to go on a follow the winner in here, I will switch from this strategy to the follow the winner, and I think I've got them off now. So we've got the tower here, our famous tower. What we're going to do is we're going to bet opposite going up the tower. So our first bet's going to be in black because of that red 19. So I want to bet $3. I'm going to put it on the zeros too, $3. And we're going to bet opposite the red. So we're going to bet $3 on black, $3 on black, $3 on black. You could put it all outside, but your problem is if you want to bet the zeros on the inside, you've got to meet the table minimum. Whoops. So we're going to cover the black inside by making the bets on the individual numbers. That gets a little difficult at the table sometime because there's so many people reaching around, and so you got to have an idea of where it is. Don't be afraid to pick up some chips and make sure that you're on the black numbers. But you're wanting to put, so 18 times 36 That's 20. So we got, well, okay, I got $1 too much in there somewhere because I got $61. But we should have 60. We should have 20 times 3. But we got 61, so never mind. It doesn't matter. It's only $1. So this is the first bet, and we're going to do D'Alembert. We're wanting to win. If we're wanting to win one good solid win for King Michael Steinfeld. So we are playing black against that red 19, betting against the tower. And there it is. And there's Mike's win. How much did he get? Mike made a profit of $47. He's a low roller, so he's leaving and going home. But we will stay and we will go down to $1 and we will bet against this black one. So we're going to go $1 on all the red numbers as our second bet. It's the same as betting red on the outside, except because you want to cover the zeros, you got to put the money on the inside to meet the table minimum. So that's what I would tell Michael Steinfeld to do after winning with the $3 on the first black one. Now we got $1. We D'Alembert down 2 units to a red number. Okay, and with that loss, what we're going to do now is we're going to go back up to 3. And since we've got a black number there, we're still going to be with these numbers here, except we're going to go to $3. And I hope I don't put 4 on something. So we will try it one more time. So where am I? What did I miss? Doggone it, Harold. You thought you'd be better than this. Trying to find where is the ones I missed. Come on, they got to be here somewhere. Nope. Okay, this is what we got, even if I've got it wrong. We got it here. So we're betting red against that black number on the bottom. And let's see if we can get one, see if we can get a red number. And we can't. Okay, good. So now we're going to have to go to black, and we're going to have to go to, I'm going to make it $6. Mike Steinfeld, if I'm losing all the money for you, I'm sorry. And you don't have to go this high, Mike. This is for demonstration purposes tonight. My kingdom is very patient. You guys just sit back and enjoy the action tonight. Watch me do this silliness. Roulette is the toughest game to beat. You guys know I'm not a big proponent of it. But we're going to try it again. And we're on black this time. And there's a hit, so let's see how bad we're doing. We're up $67, Michael Steinfeld. I'm saying stop. So you just made $67 playing roulette on your ship. You saw how I played it. You have any questions, you ask me about it. Let's see if I can come up with a follow the winner. What I want to have with the follow the winner is at least 3 chops. I actually would like to have 4. And this time it will be on the top of the board. You see a black red there. That's 2 chops. Let's see if we can get something else here, and we'll see if we can't do one final. Thanks, Chuck. Chuck's always helping me out. Okay, so I'm going to throw out that one. I'm going to take my chances. I'm going to throw out that green 0 in there, and I'm going to say that we have got here 3 chops. I prefer to have 4, but I'm going to say that we got 3. And so let's bet $25. No, let's make it 40. Let's bet $40 on a follow the winner, for that black number right there. So this is a follow the winner, and we're going to take 3 cracks at it, depending on how it goes. Kevin Sprouse has said something. Let me read this. I've won a few cruises because of my casino play on a number. Please share that I found a few cruise ships where the tower wasn't properly. Yes, you have. Always double check the tower. I'm doing it here straight off of the tower because I believe the computer probably has it right. But as far as what Kevin is saying, the tower in the casinos and the tower on the ships, don't trust it just walking up. Track your own numbers. Make sure you've got 9 numbers. Just put them on your own paper the way you see them here, in inverted order. The 28 is the one longest to go, and the 11 is the one most recent. So we're going to bet that Kevin is exactly right. So we're going to bet that the follow the winner. We're following the black. Let's see what happens. And black 17, just like Craig Smith in Florida would play. There it is. You're up $40. Michael Steinfeld gave you 2 examples of roulette. You can play follow the winner, particularly after 4 chops. We played it after 3 there. Then you can take 3 chops at it, playing your D'Alembert sequences, and that way you are using an actuarial science on a game that has no science to it. That's the beauty of it. I hope you guys can distinguish the difference between baccarat and roulette. Yes, there is a red and black here, and there's a red and blue on the baccarat table, but baccarat only has 1 on each side. This game has 18 on each side. The 18 on each side actually increases the follow the winner opportunities. So follow the winner on roulette works far better than it does at baccarat, and you can tell by right here. Look at this. You got the red 19, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 follow the winners right there. Then the red 36 yielded a green 0, but after the black 11, you got another black 17. Follow the winner came up over and over and over again, just on this tower alone, and so follow the winner works more often at roulette than baccarat does. I'm coming back with because I know Chuck plays chop a lot at the casinos, so I've put together a chop look that I'm going to show you tomorrow night, so that we aren't trying to bet so much on getting a streak or getting a follow on. I think thus far is going fine, except for the follow the winner part. But betting like after a single banker, betting the banker will appear again in the next 3 hands is a pretty solid way. It still is a follow the winner in its own regard. It's not exactly, but in its own regard, it still is a follow the winner. But you also can play chops, and I think that in everything that we're doing in baccarat, the bet is making us more successful than the selection. You have a selection, you have a bet. Yeah, that's what you got. But the bet is actually more important. And the bet is actually more important at horse racing. If you're going to Fibonacci horse racing, like you can do very easily, or if you're going to Fibonacci any 7 at a craps table, if you're going to Fibonacci, you can't Fibonacci in baccarat because it's even money payouts, and you can't Fibonacci the roulette on the even money bets, but you can Fibonacci the inside numbers on roulette very easily. And so anybody want to talk about any style of gaming, this is what we're here for. I thank you all. I will be back with you tomorrow night, and we'll be looking at a chop way of playing baccarat. God bless you all. I will see you tomorrow night. Hit me a like on the way out. I'd appreciate it very much. Thank you, guys. Take care. God bless.